You are listening to And That's Okay, the podcast devoted to encouraging you to live in your truth in a society where reality is not what's socially popular. This is a platform where you could be a novice about anything and feel comfortable about it. Let's have the conversations we all wish we had years ago and want to hear more of. Nothing is off limits and there is no shame or judgment here. Join me as I navigate life, marriage, friendships, finances, career, and whatever else life throws at me. Listen, doing all this self-work is bound to piss a few people off, and that's okay. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Angelique Royale. Let's get into it. You know how all our lives we were taught to be basically yes people pleaser. Oh, say yes. Say yes. Do it. Are you going to do it? Yes. And then when you said no, you were made to feel guilty for saying no. So then it was like, I don't want to say no because I don't want to feel the way people make me feel, which then brought the fear of rejection to you. Because now you like, I don't want to tell people no, and I don't want people to tell me no because I know how it feels. But let me tell you something. No is a whole sentence. Sometimes you need to say no to protect your peace, to protect your time, to honor your boundaries. We can't be out here just telling everybody yes. Then we sitting here walking around with half empty cups because we giving too much of ourselves to other people. Like, no is a whole sentence and it does not require an explanation. Because sometimes when you say no, you feel guilty. So then you feel like you need to explain. And I'm learning that no is a whole sentence. There is no explanation required. Oh, why did you say no? Because I wanted to say no. Girl, I don't care. I don't have to give a reason why I don't want to do anything. And it's like people want to validate for your reason to say no. Oh, that's not good enough reason for no. For you, it's not a good enough reason for me to say no. I'm going to say no because I don't want to do it. And I don't have to do it. I want people to stop making people feel guilty for saying no, for disagreeing, for going against the grain, for being different than what everybody else is doing. Like, I can never understand why people do that. As soon as you do something they're not used to, it's weird, it's this, it's that. And it's just like, just say you're unfamiliar with that. No one does that before you. Nobody has done that before in front of you. Like, everyone has their own preferences of how things go, but everybody's different for a reason. If we was all the same, we probably out here walking around like robots, being real boring and whack because we all did the same thing all the time. So we gotta be different. That's what makes the world go round. And saying no doesn't make anybody less than. I'm gonna tell you no. I'm still working the explanation part because I still have that guilt. I'm not even gonna lie. I still have that guilt of wanting to explain why I say no. And I be telling myself like, Ange, you don't gotta explain. Or Ange, you doing too much. Like, why are you explaining when you don't have to? And some people don't realize that and they look at you or they feel some type of way. You tell people no, they get real in their feelings. And it's just like, I don't have to agree with what you want me to agree to. And that comes with a lot of unlearning on their part and also on our part and looking in the mirror and being like, if I tell someone no, it's not the end of the world. And what people don't understand is that they think no's are permanent. And it can simply be just a no for right now. And then you ask me again in a couple weeks, a month. You can ask me again tomorrow. And I might be like, oh yeah, I could do that now. It's not permanent. People are so, as I call them, dramatic. I'm learning that people are very dramatic. They're very end all or be all. There's no gray area. There's no in between. It's either a yes or a no. And when you say no, that's it. It's the end of the world. I'm never asking you again. And it's just like a lot of that comes from how we were brought up and how we were raised and how we were made to feel when we asked certain things and we didn't get our way. Like, we weren't taught how to handle rejection properly. Like, point blank, period. I'm not no expert, but a lot of people can't handle rejection. I was one of those people that couldn't handle rejection, where people told me no, I kind of got in my feelings about it. And it's just like, nobody has no obligation to me. So if somebody wants to tell me no, they can tell me no. There's nothing wrong with that. And the same goes for myself. If I want to tell somebody no, I can tell them no. It's not the end of the world. Move on. And if it's something where it's like, okay, it comes up again in the future, you shouldn't shy away from asking again, because this may be a different part in this person's life where today they can say yes. Simple as that. People make things so much more difficult than what they need to be, because it's always like feelings driven, like your feelings are hurt, or you feel some type of way, or why they can't tell me no. And it's just like, yes, someone can tell you no. Even when a child, now I'm learning with kids that, you know, they are little humans. They have their own little personalities. And when they deal with people, they be like, no. And then some people be like, oh, you better go da-da-da-da-da. And it's just like, if the child doesn't want to, they shouldn't have to. And that's where it starts, with the fear of rejection, because you can't tell nobody no. Because when you were a child, you said no and your parents got mad. Don't be telling me no. And your child has a personality. They don't want to do it. So it's just like, this is where all this stems from. It's like childhood trauma and stuff like that, where it's just like, these are little people too that are learning, and you could better teach them how to say no, or how to be more clear. I mean, look, they don't even got to be clear. A no is a no. I don't have kids right now, and I feel like when I do have kids and they say no, I'm going to honor that no the best that I can. I ain't perfect. I'm going to get in my feelings too, possibly. But kids have their own reasons of why they say no. Not every kid wants to hug every adult. Not every kid wants to be next to every adult or give every adult a kiss. But people make it seem like, since they're the child and they're older, that they have to. And it's like, the fact that they're human and they might not want to just go straight out the door. It's like they're obligated. And it's like, they're really not obligated if you think about it. They don't have no obligation to anybody. They didn't ask to be here. So it's just kind of like, they have their own little individual personalities. But it's like, learning to say no will allow you to have your own self-control and allow you to dictate how people treat you, how they deal with you, how they come to you for things, because people want to know that, oh, she's not a people pleaser, so I gotta come correct. Or, oh, like, if you don't come with your facts straight, you probably not gonna get no yes. You better come. So and so don't got no problem telling you no, so you better come correct. It just sets a standard and shows people that, look, I'm not out here doing things for everyone else. I'm out here making decisions for myself and what's best for me. And I put me first. So yes, you're gonna get a no from me. If I don't feel like I can do it, if I don't have the bandwidth to do it, if I'm busy, you're going to get a no. But that also doesn't always shut doors when you get a no. Like they say, oh, one job rejects you, you go apply to another job, don't you? And then that job rejects you, you go apply to another job. Those are no's. No, 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 no. But then you keep applying, and then you get that yes. Right? Okay. So it's like, you can't sit here and allow someone to tell you no, and then you get in your feelings. And then you be like, oh, I'm never asking again. But you'll go sit here and apply to this job 50 million times. at 50 different million companies. Same job, different companies. And they all giving you no's. No, but you still applying, right? So what's wrong with that with a person? I'm not saying that you could be out here begging somebody to give you a yes, but someone tells you no, then it's just like, okay, where they at right now in their life, they can't do this for me. So if it comes up later, it comes up later. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not the end of the world. It is not the end of the world. I've had situations where I said no, and if I felt like I had to explain my no. And after I explained my no, I was just like, at the end of the day, you don't care why I told you no or the explanation. You was just hoping to find a way to get me to say yes. Like you was looking for a loophole. And no. Like, seriously, like, no. N-O. Period, poo. Like, period. We should get comfortable with hearing the word no as much as we say no. It's a lot going on. Life be lifing. Time be flying. And we have to better take care of ourselves, one. And two, be able to not spread ourselves so thin. Like we do that a lot, trying to do everything or be everything for everybody. Our cup gets poured in last. And I want you to change that whole narrative. And I know a lot of us wasn't raised this way or never seen it, but let's change the narrative. Like, let's break this generational curse of putting ourselves last and start putting ourselves first. And putting ourselves first will look different for everybody. There's no right or wrong way. There's no concrete way that you're supposed to put yourself first. But it will take some sacrifice and it will take some no's. But then you also, depending on what you got going on in your life, you may have kids, you may have a partner. You have to figure out, how does this all work together as one? Whereas though I'm still putting myself first and still being able to honor the other hats that I wear. Because listen, as I've said in a previous podcast and as I will say in future podcasts, nothing can flourish unless you're poured into your own cup. Nothing else. None of those other hats can flourish unless you are taking care of you. It is so important and vital to take care of yourself. And you have to figure out what that looks like for you. Nobody else can tell you. Nobody else can say do this, do that, give you a whole script. No. Find out what feels good. And sometimes it's small things, little things. I've jumped on this Starbucks craze. It's a few people I could blame, but I ain't gonna name them on a podcast. I ain't gonna put them out there. I was never a Starbucks girl because I don't like coffee. I don't like coffee. It's not nasty. It's just not my cup of tea. I do like tea, but I don't get tea from Starbucks. I just been drinking their refreshers. I divvied into a macchiato one time and got hooked. But macchiato is like kind of like coffee a little bit, and it might have been an espresso shot that I just was like, yeah, it's good though. I ain't gonna lie, it's good. So then I came across this other drink called a chai tea latte. I'm probably messing the name up. A chai tea latte. Bussin'. So that's my drink. And now, every now and then I may treat myself to a little Starbucks because it makes me feel good. I'm not even like that Starbucks girl, but I think I'm turning into her. And me and Starbucks about to go together real bad. So I try to stay away from like people recommendations and trying new drinks. But right now, my drink is a chai tea latte. And if you want to know the one I like, it tastes like eggnog to me. It gives me it reminds me of eggnog. If you like how eggnog tastes, you'll like this chai tea latte from Starbucks. So if you want to know the recipe, hit me up. because everybody probably, I don't want to get at Starbucks. Da, da, da. And also, I kind of don't want to be responsible if you do like it. But girl, try it. I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna be honest with that. But anyway, you have to take care of yourself. And my little Starbucks dates is my little dates with myself. I run and go to Starbucks. One day I dropped my husband off at the airport. I drove home. He was like, "Oh, I'm settled, babe. What you doing?" I was like, "At Starbucks." So that's like my little self-love, to treat myself to Starbucks. Every now and then I go to Target, walk around Target, buy stuff, may go to Burlington, Ross, and try to just kind of like do things that make me feel good, or buy myself stuff that make me feel good, like stuff that I want. And for everyone, it looks different. Some days I'll just rest, won't do nothing, be a couch bum. Like, people try to make it seem like you're not being productive if you're resting. And if you're resting, that is a part of productivity, because you need rest. Your body needs to recharge and recuperate. So picking a Sunday and saying, no, I ain't doing nothing today. You can even tell yourself no. Because I know, like, your mind will go and make you feel like you need to do this and you need to do that and you need to be doing this. And you laying down, you're not productive. And you could literally tell yourself, no, today I am going to lay here and relax and recharge you, because one, you deserve it, and two, you'll be much more productive when you have the adequate amount of rest. Point blank, period. Tell yourself no. Okay? Look yourself in the mirror and be like, yo, today we're not doing it. We're not doing that. No. N-O. You're not doing that. Tell yourself no. Not all the time. You can say yes. But when you need to, don't be afraid to tell yourself no. Just like you tell everybody else no, tell yourself no. It's something that will take work. I ain't gonna say you're gonna wake up tomorrow and be telling everybody no. You gotta get comfortable with it. You know how they say to get comfortable being uncomfortable? That's real. You got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, being in uncomfortable situations, because telling people no is an uncomfortable situation. Especially when you say no and then they looking at you and you feel like you got to explain. That's uncomfortable, because you be like, no. And you be like, let me run. Let me get out of here. That's an uncomfortable situation, but you got to stand firm. Stand firm and just get used to being uncomfortable. It'll stretch you and take you to places in life that you probably never imagined you'll be. But don't be afraid to say no. Everything is not good. Everything that looks good may not always be good either. So don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to say no and put a period after it, because it is a whole sentence by itself. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you walked away with some valuable information. Make sure to follow the podcast on IG at And That's Okay Podcast. You can connect with me directly on there. Looking forward to the next episode. Remember to spread love, kindness, and make the choices that bring you peace.